What's up, guys? Today we are going to fix the Atlanta Falcons. Dan Quinn has been fired. Thomas Dimitroff has been fired. So they're looking for a whole new direction from the front office to the coaching staff after a long run there. A team that we all know it. They never got over that Super Bowl beating by the New England Patriots. And now they're looking to go in a new direction after starting 0-5 with basically a playoff mandate. Make the playoffs or you're out. So let's look at how we could fix this team. It does start with that coaching position because it's not just about culture, but it's about looking at a roster that actually has a lot of talent on it and being able to get the most out of them. The message with Dan Quinn, I think, got a little bit stale. So let's switch that up. You had a defensive guy, he got fired. You know I'm going to the offensive side of the ball to try to fix this team. You have Julio Jones, you have Calvin Ridley, you have Matt Ryan, at least for a little bit longer. Let's try to get some wins on the table. And you do that by going for an offensive coach. And I would put Eric Bieniemy, offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs, at the very, very top of my coaching wish list for the Atlanta Falcons. I understand he's not going to have Patrick Mahomes in Atlanta. I understand he's not called a lot of the plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's more what he can do behind the scenes, structuring an offense, giving an offense its philosophy, adapting the offense to work with the position players that he has around him. But also, it's the coaching staff that I believe Eric Bieniemy would be able to build as a former college and NFL player, but then also what he's done in the NFL as a coordinator, the staff that he could build, all those touch points of I can get the Andy Reid coaching tree, I can go here, I can go here. He could build a staff that I think would turn the Atlanta Falcons into a winner. So it's not just, oh, Bieniemy's with the Chiefs, he's under Andy Reid, he's going to be the next Andy Reid. He's not. He's going to be Eric Bieniemy, but I love the culture that he could bring to this. I also love what we've seen him. I think some of the wrinkles in the Chiefs offense where they've modernized into more of a West Coast spread. I think Eric Bieniemy deserves a lot of credit for that. He's also been learning with Andy Reid, so we know he can bring that same style and philosophy to Atlanta. Now, number 2 on my list might surprise a lot of you, but that's Brian Daboll with the Buffalo Bills, offensive coordinator there. Another guy who has ties to the college game. He was at Alabama. We see him go to Buffalo. The beautiful thing about Brian Daboll is not going to be, oh, he fixed Josh Allen's mechanics. It's not that. He built an offense that suits Josh Allen's strengths. That's the key here. You look at Josh Allen, he's big, he's athletic, he's got a huge arm. So what do? You go get John Brown. You get Stephon Diggs. You basically buy an offensive line that's solid. Now Josh Allen is able to just make plays. They've opened him up to be a scorer, and I think that's one of the beautiful things about this offense is let's just let our guy make plays. Now, obviously, Matt Ryan is not going to be running all over the field making plays like this. He's 35 years old. He's not that athletic, but he is able to extend and move in the pocket to keep the play alive, and they have weapons. Like we talked about Julio, Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage is really, really good, and they're going to have draft capital to improve at positions like tight end and running back if they decide to. And we'll get to a mock draft toward the end of this. But Brian Daboll absolutely intrigues me, whether it's for the Atlanta Falcons or the Houston Texans, someone else. He should be a head coach next year. Now, let's talk about this roster a little bit because before you get to the draft, you have to look at needs, weaknesses, getting your roster healthy. The salary cap, guys, it's terrible. They are they are $25 million over the projected 2021 cap. A lot of that is because of Matt Ryan. This year cost $75 million, and next year, $50 million in dead cap space. So Matt Ryan is absolutely killing the Falcons salary cap, and there's nothing you can do about it until after the 2022 season. He's already 35 years old. You have him for 2 more years. Barring a retirement, Matt Ryan is making too much money to be moved at this point, unless you could find someone to do a Brock Osweiler type trade where you essentially give them a high draft pick to take this contract off your books. It's happened before. It could happen again. But given Matt Ryan's level of play, it seems like he's going to be there for the long haul. But you have to figure out how to fix this cap. I think one move that I would start looking at is guys like Alex Mack, an older center who's counting $10 million against the cap. They have drafted some interior offensive linemen over the past few years. We could see him gone in a cut. There are other players along the defensive side where we just have not seen them step up. Obviously, Grady Jarrett's not going anywhere. Deion Jones isn't going anywhere. You'll get Desmond Trufant's dead cap off the books next year. That's going to help. But players like James Carpenter could be gone. And we're going to see a lot of players. Famously, they had, we have 11 players, first rounders on offense. Guys like Hayden Hurst, might not be long for this team because you got to look at getting some of this money off the books. Todd Gurley, got to get that money off the books. So those former first rounders that everybody was so excited about, they might not be in Atlanta for the long haul. All right, now the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's look at a mock draft for this team. The Atlanta Falcons do not have a 7th round pick due to a trade. So we're going to just look at rounds 1 through 6. assuming they have the first pick. Right now they're 0-5. Let's just say the Falcons have the first pick to make this thing easy. If you have the first pick in the 2021 NFL draft, there is only one player you are allowed to select, and that is Trevor Lawrence. Now, could the Falcons trade this for a haul of picks? Absolutely. And maybe Matt Ryan wants to play 5 more years. I do not care how much longer Matt Ryan wants to play. It is time to flip this team. It's time to burn it down, to rebuild it. Trevor Lawrence is the way to do that. He is far and away the best quarterback prospect in the 21 class. He's far and away the best player in the 21 class. Trevor Lawrence is everything we have hoped for at the quarterback position. He's big. He has a strong arm. He's athletic. He's smart. He's a leader. The character all checks the boxes. If you are firing your head coach and general manager, you're basically starting over. Trevor Lawrence is the face of the franchise type quarterback you can do that with. Now, moving into round 2, I want to protect Trevor Lawrence because I think the Falcons' offensive line has been an issue for them. We look at guys like Caleb McGarry, has not lived up to that first round prospect status. Some of that's injury related. On the interior, I like both guards. I would like to keep them at the guard spot. So I'm going to go to a center, and that's Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern. He's played tackle. He's played guard. I project him on the inside. I think he's a very good athlete. He's a good mover. He's incredibly smart. Let's put him on the inside. Allow him to captain and anchor an offensive line. I know I have some offensive line coach friends who are going to get mad at me about this, say, nah, Matt, he's a tackle. He very well might be. He could be Isaiah Wynn. He could be that player, but I love his potential on the inside where I think he'd be an all-pro guard as opposed to a serviceable tackle. So I would rather, all-pro center instead of a serviceable tackle. So let's get him on the inside. Let's protect Matt Ryan for a little bit longer, and then let's protect Trevor Lawrence, moving this team forward. I love that when you can connect a center with a quarterback early in their careers, let these guys grow up together. But we also got to fix this defense a little bit. And I identify the safety position as one of those where it hasn't lived up to hype. Keanu Neal has not been as good as expected. So in the third round, I'm going to go to the Big 12 where you don't find a lot of defenders. I'm going to get Trevor Moore from TCU, who has been a playmaker. He's fast. He's very, very athletic. He's on that freaks list, right? This is a guy who definitely pops when you watch the tape. So getting a rangy safety, even if you keep Keanu Neal for the long haul, now you have a rangy player in the back end who has the speed to go make plays over the top, flip the field a little bit. You got some young corners there in Atlanta, guys I actually like. Let's give them some help at the safety position with some versatility in Trevor Moore. Round 4, this is where I look at a running back. This is the sweet spot for getting running backs. You don't have to draft one in the first round. We all know that. Let's go round 4. Michael Carter from North Carolina, one of my favorite backs in college football right now. A little bit small, a little bit short, I should say. He's definitely not small, short and stocky, and he is a hell of a running back. I mean, there's power between the tackles. Look what he's doing for this Tar Heels offense. With Sam Howell at quarterback, Michael Carter has that power, whether that's inside zone, which I think he's fantastic at. We've seen him catching the ball out of the backfield. He can be an NFL starter at running back. Kind of gives me some Kareem Hunt vibes as a running back prospect. So Michael Carter, I would pencil in as maybe a year 1, late year 1, or year 2 starter in the 4th round. Now, round 5, I want to go back to that defense. I love Deion Jones, but let's keep rounding out that linebacker course. Charles Snowden III from Virginia, he's versatile. And who comes in here as defense coordinator is going to set the tone a lot for what type of player they want in the front 7. I think Charles Snowden could be a little bit of everything. And we're still seeing him really become the type of player he'll be. So in some ways, he reminds me of like a Bernardrick McKinney, where come out of college, we're not exactly sure where you're going to play. You know, are you an edge? Are you kind of a nickel guy? Are you a weak side linebacker? I'm intrigued by Charles Snowden, who by the time the season ends, the way he's playing, might not be available at this spot. But he is one of the more athletic hybrid type players at the linebacker position. Round 6, like I said, no round 7 pick. So this will be the last one. You got to get something at tight end. You don't have that safety valve in the middle of the field right now. And that is so desperately needed in the NFL. It also shows up a ton in the red zone. So I got to go tight end here, going with Tony Poljan, who, again, an athlete. That's going to be a common theme with this thread with this team is let's just get athletes, guys who can make plays on their own, who can advance the ball down the field, who don't have to be set up to make plays. They don't have to be set up, schemed opportunities. So I'm going with Tony Poljan as that tight end pick in round 6. The Falcons may not be completely fixed with just this. This is a good start. What I would do if the Falcons come calling. So Arthur Blank, maybe subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll hop on the phone.